Reddit by Reddit recap. Serious. Parents of Reddit. What do your kids think they are hiding that you know about? My son has a crush on a girl a few houses down. She is 15 or 16 and he is 12. He thinks nobody knows. Wife and I know. Her parents know. She knows. His uncle across the country knows. Hell, the ice cream truck guy knows. Thankfully she is an awesome kid and is careful about his feelings on the matter. In 4th grade I had a crush on a girl, but it was so obvious that even the teacher figured it out. Dad, why did you tell the internet? My son, 1, can walk. He refuses to walk if he knows you can't see him. He thinks once he walks and everyone knows, he won't get carried anymore. I've caught him walking when he thought I was in a different room. As soon as he sees me he drops and cries. Little turd. This kid is going places. I have a son of 9 months and your comment has made me suspicious. I need to keep an eye on him now. As a kid I always knew when my parents were doing the deed. I always stayed up late in my bed and often slept with my door open. The lock on their door was one where you have to push it in to lock it and twist the handle to unlock it. So there isn't a quiet way of locking the door. They usually slept with the door unlocked so that the kids could come in if needed at night. It was always a while after everyone went to bed. The house would be dead quiet and I would just hear the click of the metal lock. And then a while later the door handle would turn and the lock would click again to unlock. You're lame slick. My kid has peach flavored vodka hidden in his bedroom. He'll know I know when he finds I replaced it with water. Peach flavored vodka? What the hell? My mom did that to the vodka I was going to make Skittles vodka with. I thought the vodka had lost its alcohol over time, since I had bought that bottle a year earlier. Had a tiny nip to taste and then kept it in the liquor cabinet. My parents don't like vodka at all, so I had nothing to worry about. It was safe. When finally the time came to make Skittles vodka, I had a tiny little taste and it was water. My father had a huge trying not to laugh grin on his face. My mother had a poker face and pretended she didn't know what I was talking about. Then my dad couldn't help himself anymore and ratted my mom out. My mom had a new bottle of vodka for me. Skittles vodka was made and me and my friends enjoyed a night of drinking games with the stuff. Went on a hike with MR5 who was trailing behind. Took one look at him and said, "Take those rocks out of your pockets." I think he wondered how I knew, but there were telltale bulges in his pockets. My 6-year-old does this. He wants to collect every rock and stick he finds on our walks. I now tell him he can collect what he can carry, but that nothing comes inside the house. My 3-year-old is hiding the dummy pacifier she agreed to get rid of under her teddy stack. I won't tell my wife or my daughter. I got her back. I used to have a huge wooden wardrobe in my room. It was from my grandmother. Very heavy and sturdy, the wardrobe. Not my granny, now. The wardrobe is in my daughter's room. She is 8. She found that you can take out a wooden board of the wardrobe and there is a hidden space beneath. She has a stash of chocolates and her diary there. She doesn't know that I use the same trick to hide stuff. One day I will tell her. My husband and I like to tell our 3-year-old don't tell mommy daddy when we give her candy because she immediately will tell the other parent like it's a game. She doesn't understand lies or secrets and it's so cute. I try to whisper to her and tell her to tickle her dad or scare him and she just wants to whisper gibberish back to me, haha. When my eldest daughter was still in high school, I began to notice some things here and there that were indicative of smoking pot. Her eyes would be red glossy. Osium in her car. Lighter's eye drops are beginning to show up randomly throughout the house. Aside from a funny joke here and there once she was a little older, and the usual just be safe. Call me if you need anything, I won't be mad talk. We've never explicitly talked about it. I'd like to have a conversation about it with her and also share some of my experiences with her. The only thing that bothers me is that she probably believes she sneakily slid her pot smoking from her parents. But no. We just don't give a F about weed. I remember when I was 20 I saw 2 boys around 15-16 leaving a gig where they have been smoking pot. And one of them took a little bottle of perfume out of his pocket. I had to stop him. I said, please don't tell me you're gonna apply perfume now to try to fool someone that you have not been smoking. That's painfully obvious. On the reverse of this, I know my mom is hiding as much of her 20s and 30s from me and my sister, as she was a major stoner at the time and likely did harder stuff as well, seeing as my dad got hooked on harder stuff and that it was the 80s 90s. I also know she cusses whenever no one else from my family is around. Even though you'd think she'd sworn herself to never do it, for some reason, with the lengths she'll go to not cuss. I went through a stage where I hated taking showers when I was little. So much that I put effort into fooling my parents that I indeed took showers. At first I thought if I just flushed the toilet constantly it would sound like water was running downstairs. Didn't work obviously. Then I tried just turning the water on and letting it be for a bit. Still didn't work since they could tell it was hitting the floor and not my body first. Our shower had sliding doors so I couldn't just stop it with a shower curtain or something like that, so I'd climb on the toilet and I'd try to intercept it with my hand or the shampoo bottle. Still didn't work because then she'd say I didn't use soap or shampoo. So I tried rubbing dry soap over my arms and neck and a bit of shampoo on my hands and then my head. I finally gave in and started taking showers, but I had a record of 4 days without one. My daughter has always written stories. Not necessarily finished stories, but original stories that are at least the start of a tale that could be from a good story. At some point in the past 3 years my daughter, she's now 15, stopped sharing her stories with us. She continues to write and posts to a social media site meant for such things. Her stories have gotten to be more adult in a way, including no scenes and occasional violence. Nothing too over the top. Mind you, I'm sure that she's not sharing these stories with us because she's embarrassed to have her parents read it. The only reason I've seen them is because I have access to her account on the social media site and her email. Not because I'm a nosy dad, but because she always comes to me for help resetting her passwords when she's forgotten them, or has been logged out too long. My son is 5 and my mother works at a dollar store. I dropped him off there at the end of her shift because I had a DR appointment. He stole a package of Fortnite cards and my mom didn't see them until they got home. He thought since she worked there, that they were free lol. My mom told him it was stealing and just because she works there, doesn't mean he can take them. He bawled. He was so upset and thought I was going to be upset with him, so my mom told him she wouldn't tell me as long as he didn't do it again. Of course. She told me and I couldn't help but laugh a little bit. He hasn't said anything and he usually tells on himself often lol. My daughter, 2 doesn't like to take a nap, so she gets up and plays in her room while keeping the door closed. Needless to say we perfectly know she does this since most of her games are not very quiet, but we're still happy to have some free time. When I was babysitting, I did something like this to trick kids into going to bed on time. Well before bedtime, I'd tell the kids I had a special bedtime rule that was only for big kids. If they were super well behaved and got ready for bed on time, they could stay up as late as they wanted as long as they stayed in their rooms, didn't make much noise, and kept the lights dim. That's what every kid does at night when they have a babysitter. There's literally nothing you can do as a babysitter to make a kid sleep at bedtime. Somehow none of the kids I watched figured that out. They thought they were getting such a special privilege. I used to think that blowing cigarette smoke into my fan made it disappear. My mom would walk in my bedroom and find me inside a cloud of smoke. My 3-year-old always asks for extra snacks to give to daddy. I never see any of those snacks. My kid swears that I don't see him throw out the sprinkles on the cookies that the Publix lady gives him. It's not my fault everyone likes chocolate chip. My almost 12-year-old gets up in the middle of the night and plays in her room. This wakes up my 11-year-old, who joins in by reading quietly in the closet. As long as they're quiet, I figure I can't really fight it. At least everyone sleeps in during the summer. Right now he's sneaking out of bed as we speak to watch some more YouTube. They hide change. They see it on my desk, or when I lose it in the couch and scoop it up. They think that I don't know. But when they are gone I put more change in their secret hiding spots. Also my oldest likes a boy a lot and he likes her. My mom used to say she had eyes in the back of her head. Standard mom line. Except she could tell us exactly what we were doing while she faced the stove and we sat at the kitchen table behind her. Found out years later she was watching us in reflective surfaces of kitchen appliances. Parents are sneaky AF. My dad's parents had this chrome toaster for literally 50 years. One of those rock solid old appliances that just wouldn't quit. It outlived both of them. It still works. I spent so much time goggling at my reflection sitting at grandma's kitchen table. I'm realizing now that it was probably just as useful to her as it was entertaining for her kids. Lol. My husband told my 6-year-old daughter that when you lie your ears turn red. Now we know whenever she's lying because she makes sure to cover her ears first. We told our son that his neck gets red when he lies. It was hilarious to watch him lie. Because his shoulders would slowly raise as the story went on. The mop. He is 2 and thinks he can hide it behind his back when I walk in the room and I won't see it. My 2-year hides pacifiers around the house to break out when no one is looking. I've yet to find them all. But I've got my 5-year on the lookout. Objective: find pacifiers. My kids don't understand that it's a small house with thin walls and they can't go to the kitchen and steal snacks, or do anything really, without us hearing them do it. Hell. My kids still try to sneak down our squeaky stairs and surprise me and are genuinely befuddled when I know they're behind me without looking. Parents have eyes in the back of their heads? Yeah. They're called ears. My kid is 6. She's just discovered lying and it's hilarious. She doesn't do little white lies. She tells totally unbelievable stories. I go along with them as she's telling it. Until she reveals it was made up. Sometimes I tell her I knew. Other times I let it pass. I encourage her. By engaging like it's real because I'm curious about her make-believe. Best comment of the day. During my first year of being married to my wife, she still felt shy and embarrassed to fart in bed, so every night, whenever she needed to fart, she'd get up, go to the bathroom in our room, turn on the faucet to maximum, and use the loud running water to drown out the noise of her farting. It was really cute how she thought that I didn't know. This went on for 2 months before she stopped making the effort to hide it and finally felt comfortable enough to fart in bed. When she stopped making the effort to hide her farting, I saw a chance to poke fun at her and said to her one night, "How come you're not trying to hide your farting anymore?" I will never forget the look on her face when she realized I knew all along. Priceless moment.